Get on in here, everybody. I got my microphone on. I got a little bit of coffee left. So come on in. Let's get the chat up and see where all my people are. Yep, I've got a true confession this morning. True confession. So get on in here and we're going to discuss it because it's some of the biggest procrastination stuff that we do. Yeah, there's my people. Come on in. Come on in. Do we need a song this morning to get us moving? Let me see. Let's do the FlyBaby song. Go back one. A FlyBaby song. I remember singing this song on the stage with the FlyBaby chorus.
I heard the alarm this morning, but there's no time to snooze. Time to open my eyes, time to moisturize, and tie my lace-up shoes. Soon a friend dropped by to see me. She said, "You're some cleaning whiz. You look so happy and you dress so snazzy. Come on, tell me what your secret is." I said, "I'm a fly baby, flapping these pretty wings. I'm a fly baby, sticking to my routines. And it won't be perfect tomorrow, and it won't be perfect next year, but I'm still flying, baby. Get my life in gear. Do 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 do.
Ice, baby, ice.
I kick back
Every 20 minutes.
Cause things are looking fine. The kids aren't screaming and this house is screaming, and wow, that sink sure shines. But I still have piles of clutter.
We hadn't started yet. We just got the music going. Did not miss the thing.
Downhearted, I'm just getting started, and I jump in where I am. Cause I'm a fly baby, flapping these pretty wings. I'm a fly baby, sticking to
Set your timer.
routines.
20
And
minutes.
it won't be perfect tomorrow, and it won't be perfect next year, but I'm still flying, baby. Get my life in gear.
Change the key.
I'm a fly baby, flapping these pretty wings. I'm a fly baby,
That'll get you going.
sticking to my routine. And it won't be perfect tomorrow, and it won't be perfect next year, but I'm still flying, baby. Get my life in gear. Oh, get my life in gear.
I can just see them all laughing. Well, just wonderful. Anyway, folks, y'all get in here. It is Wednesday. It's anti-procrastination day. We're in zone 4, and that's our bedroom, our master bathroom, and our closet. Our habit of the month is decluttering, and we have been decluttering in our bedroom, cleaning off our nightstands. If you got a drawer in your nightstand, clean it out. If you got a big old closet that's stuffed full of clothes, let's get rid of some shoes today. Let's go in there and gather up everybody but Trisha. She's icing her ankle down. But those of you who can, go into your closet and let's get rid of 5 pairs of shoes that you don't wear anymore. Yeah, you heard me. 5 pairs that you don't wear anymore. So let's get that done. It's easy to do. And then we can get in the habit of when we bring something new home. Say you get a new shirt. You get rid of 2 shirts that you don't wear anymore. You got it? You bring something new home. I learned this from a born organized friend. Her name was Marnie, and she worked with me at Erskine Mountain Lodge. And she lived in a tiny house. It wasn't called a tiny house then, but it was a tiny house because we didn't know about tiny houses back then. But she lived in this little office trailer, and it was all she could find to rent, and that she could afford to rent. It was like $200 or $300 a month, and she didn't have a whole lot of room. And when she got a new pair of shoes, she got rid of 2 pairs of shoes. So, folks, I watched her do it. I watched her take the new pair of shoes she got, put them in her closet, and take 2 pairs out and put them in a box. And she took them immediately to donate them. She did it. And I thought, we don't just keep collecting shoes? And she said, no, I did. I said it out loud. And she said, I don't have room. And so I need to keep things pared down all the time. Oh, Trisha, thanks for putting that up there. And this is going to be good. Now, I'm reminded of going, I didn't have a whole lot of money when I first moved to North Carolina. I didn't have anything. And I'm the type of person that won't ask for anything. So on Saturday morning, I would chart out a path through town. I would get the newspaper and I would chart out a path to go yard sailing, SAILING, yard sailing. And I've bought a lot of things at yard sales, and when this room was piled to the ceiling, it had a lot of bags of things I had purchased at yard sales that I had never unpacked. That's my guilt. I would just go yard, and I didn't have a whole lot of money, y'all. I didn't have a whole lot of money. I probably shouldn't have been going yard sailing, but I moved to North Carolina with my fishing gear, because I could feed myself if I needed to with my fishing gear, my fly tying stuff, my camping gear, because we camped out for about 2 weeks, and then it started raining, and I was just, I'm done. And we found a little house to rent, but we didn't have any furniture. We didn't have anything. We moved into a furnished house, but we still needed some things, and I would go yard sailing. This was with a second husband that I don't even consider ever being married to. But I would go to these yard sales. I only have one thing left from a yard sale. And I have this plant, and I don't know what it's called, but it's a bulb that looks kind of like an onion. And it puts out these little vines, and it'll die back occasionally, but this thing, and it makes babies. And I have had this thing for 30 years. Sits in my kitchen window. I love this plant. I might take a picture of it and show it to you. It's the only thing I ever have kept from a yard sale. I loved it. And I bought it. I think I paid like $1 for it. It was just a bulb about this size, like an onion. And it's not some kind of fake onion, a pregnant onion. It's not that. It's something else, because I've actually looked it up. I just can't remember what it's called. But everything else has gone away, y'all. Everything else has gone away. So I was watching Patera last night, and it reminded me of what this room used to look like with all my yard sale finds that I never got out of the bag. Are you guilty of that too? Are you guilty of that too? You're so excited to get it, and this, most of us don't have the discipline to go yard sailing and then sell that purchase at that yard sale on eBay or whatever. We don't have that discipline. We think we're going to do it, but we don't have the discipline right now. Once you get organized, you may have the discipline. I've known people that quit their day jobs. I had a friend who was a clerk of court, one of the assistant clerks of court down in Rutherford County, North Carolina, and she would go to yard sales. She'd find things. She'd sell them on eBay, and she made a good living on it. But she was born organized, and she had little uh, control journals for the thing. She would take pictures of it, and she would post it, and then she would know what she paid for it, so she could do her taxes. She was organized. But most of us are not like that. So my suggestion is when to not have a yard sale unless your children have it, and you can teach them how to get rid of their toys. When it gets summertime, you set a goal and you have a yard sale. You set a goal of what you're going to do with the money, and you set up tables of 25 cents, or maybe it's $1 here and $1 there, and 70, whatever price you put on it. Yard sale people want to deal. They just want to make a deal. Will you take this for it? And or if I put this and this together, will you? I was the queen of yard sailing. I'm telling you. But guess what, y'all? I don't do it anymore. Robert will occasionally. There'll be an estate sale somewhere up our mountain, and he'll see it listed in the newspaper, and he'll go. He got me an iron skillet not long ago. Well, I had to get rid of an iron skillet, and you see, holding on to things, somebody's going to have to go through your stuff one day. Somebody's going to have to go through your stuff. And when you have all kinds of stuff, maybe it won't be that easy of a task. Nobody's going to really know what your stuff is and what it meant to you unless you write it and put it on the back of an item. So don't be guilty of just going and buying. Yesterday, Patera went to a Goodwill, and she didn't buy a single thing. You know why? Because that dollar or that $5 that she had in her pocket was more important to building up her pantry than it was to buying a koozie with the big orange tea on it. She didn't need that. She didn't need that for a can of beer. She didn't need that. I didn't even look at what she was going through. I blocked a couple of YouTube things that were popping up of people going to expensive Goodwill stores where things are $8 and $10. I would never go into one that much. I just, one time I collected dishes with vegetables on it that looked like vegetables, like a big old cabbage terrine. Did I ever use it? No. So I donated it. Somebody would love it. I had eggplant dishes. I had all kinds of corn on the cob dishes. I had all kinds of dishes. Just trivial. I don't have them anymore. I'm in the process of getting rid of some mugs. I have to get rid of some mugs. We're running out of room. I still have um I still have one little pot I remember getting at this wasn't from a yard sale. I like to cook oatmeal in it. And it's a little Le Creuset small pot. It's just right for a serving of oatmeal. What else? Rebecca got this, but I bought some Le Creuset saucepans, and she ended up with those because they were the colors she loved. And what else have I still got? One thing. Trying to think of something else I've purchased. Oh, it's my mug that I paid 10 cents for from Habitat for Humanity. Um, it was 10 cents. 10 cents at their little shop that was on Probart Street, extended, and it's moved now. It's a big fancy thing now. In fact, I got to be there for the grand opening, and I took that mug with me and showed them what I had purchased at Habitat for Humanity in 1995. And it was 10 cents, but the mug makes me happy. It makes me happy because it was a thrown mug. I could feel the fingers that shaped the mug, and it made me happy. Joanne, honey, some activated charcoal works good, but don't put any more food on your stomach right now. Keep keep some water and electrolytes in you. So, folks, are you guilty of yard sailing, sailing, and never opening the bag? That's become clutter. And if you have some of that clutter in your house, I want you to think about where you're going to put it. Do you have a place for it? Do you love it? I don't go shopping online or out in public without knowing what I'm going for. I'm not treasure hunting. Now, there are treasures to be found, don't get me wrong, but if you're cluttered, you don't have another spot to put a thing. So get rid of it. Now, we have gone to many estate auctions in the past. We love estate auctions, but it was only when we were upgrading our furniture that we would go to these estate auctions. And Robert used it as a learning experience because as a judge, he would have to value people's stuff. And guess what? Most things have no value. None. You got a great big 65-inch television, no value. Once you bring it home, it has no value. So he learned how to um, figure out what a set of Hummel figurines were worth. I don't even know if anybody ever are those things with big eyes, Beanie Babies. You know, some people are gonna put their kids through college with Beanie Babies. So, folks, we have got to be good stewards of what God has given us. And not everything is a bargain if it's just going to sit in a bag and have no place of display. So, folks, please don't be guilty of just yard sailing for shopping therapy. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to live that way anymore. We've got so much clutter, and if you want to give this stuff value, give it away. It retains its value. If you paid, you know, $50 for an Instapot and you don't like it anymore or you've never used it, put it on a table with a free sign on it. Somebody will take it. Somebody will need something to set up housekeeping. Y'all, we can do this. We don't have to be stuck in this vicious cycle of bringing other people's trash home with you. We don't have to do that. We can live our lives clutter free or getting rid of clutter in the process. We have to do it slow because here's what happens. If somebody were to come in and totally declutter your house, you would feel violated. And you know what you do? You'd get in the car and you'd look for a yard sale. You get in the car and you'd go to the thrift store. You get in the car and you start buying it all again. I know you don't believe me, but I'm sure because you would feel naked. Yeah, that's how we say it in the South. Naked. You'd have to rebuild that stash you had. But when you get rid of things a little at a time, one table at a time. I had a friend, um, Mary Ann, and her initials were MAD, and we called her Mad Cow. That was just our nickname for her. And she knew it because that was her MAD, her last name. And I went to help her move. She moved from Decatur, Alabama, Decatur, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta, to at the upper end of our county. And she just said, "Can you come help me? I don't know what to do next." And her son was a professional mover for office buildings and for lawyers' offices and different things like that. And he stayed pretty busy. He rented two of those huge U-Haul trucks. And they're loading these trucks up. And she had a rule loading the trucks up. I would hold something up. Like we were going through her closet, and she had inherited all her mother's purses. Her mother bought expensive purses. And these purses had molded in her closet. And she was just, I said, do you like, well, it was my mama's and she paid a lot of money for it. I said, but you didn't pay anything for it. And so we started a pile. And then she came up with the idea if she would, I mean, this was 3 days of packing up trucks. And they had lived in this house for 27 years. And her husband had a lot of wood in the basement for making things. And so she set it in the middle of the floor from her bedroom to go through the living room and out the front door. She set it right in the middle of the floor. And the first day, she walked around whatever it was. The second day, she'd kick it to the side. And the third day, she'd take it out to the curb. And before she got back in the house, it was gone. Y'all, it was crazy how well this worked. If she kicked it, she knew it had to go away because she didn't love it. So, folks, don't be, yes, I stick it in. Some people can clean stuff like that up. I'm not going to go that trouble. I'm not going to go to that trouble. And over the years, my purse has gotten smaller and smaller. And now I'm just carrying a little clutch, about like this. Little clutch. That's all I'm carrying. So when you catch yourself yard sailing just for the retail pleasure of things because you don't have a whole lot of money to spend, think about taking maybe your budget. Maybe you have a budget. Maybe you don't have a budget, but then you get through. I'm only going to spend 20. What could $20 do every week in building up a pantry? You could buy a lot of pasta for $20, especially if you catch it on sale. You could buy a lot of pasta, and pasta keeps. In fact, I saw a good recipe for mac and cheese today. just an amazing. It's as good as mine, but he put a little bit more. He uses that some of that wash your sister sauce, but it was just a cute recipe. And he used two American cheese and mild cheddar cheese, and made a roux out, and made his own cheese sauce. He says you'll throw away that blue box. So, folks, spend some time today not thinking about the yard sales that are going to be happening on Friday and Saturday, but thinking about what you could do with that money. You go to the grocery outlet and have a budget of $5 to put stuff in your pantry. Maybe you need to clean out your linen closet to start building your pantry. It's always good to have a pantry that you can feed your family from, that you don't have to run to the grocery store. It makes it so good having a supply of food on hand where you can fix a meal without a lot of trouble. Having a stocked baking pantry with self-rising flour and plain flour and baking powder and yeast, all this stuff, where you could make a loaf of bread if you wanted to, or make rolls. Make some yummy cinnamon rolls. Can you tell I've been doing a 3-day, and I wasn't going to tell anybody about it. I'm not going to tell anybody about it. I'm just not going to do it. But I've been watching and praying and doing something biblical. And I have so much energy. So much energy. I love it. God gets all the glory too. So y'all, we're in your bedroom this week. Let's get rid of some clutter out of there. Let's do it. Let's do it. And if you need help with menu planning, calendars are half price right now. We don't have many left. We've got kitchen towels, and Justin came up with an idea yesterday. You know, we've been putting up. I cleaned out my broom closet the other day, and when you have a broom closet that you can't get another broom in, you may have too many brooms. So that's what I have been doing, is I've been moving them to like the garage, and nobody wants old brooms and stuff. And I've got a trash can that I put things in. And you know what? My broom closet, I designed my kitchen, and I needed a place to put a broom. And it's lovely. So now's the time. If you want to upgrade your cleaning tools from that old nasty mop that stinks, now's the time to get your FlyLady tools. This bundle pack, it's got things for the kitchen, mops and brooms and all of this good stuff. Get it ordered today. You deserve to have tools that motivate you, that get your floors clean when you use them. No telling how much money I've spent on mops over the years. One time I bought one that had all these terry cloth elastic, and all the elastic ruined on them in just within a year, and I just threw it all away. It was just awful. Okay, folks, get your mops ordered. Maybe you just want to order a mop and some mop cloths. Get it done. A mop pack plus is $29.95. So y'all, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Father in heaven, please give my fly babies all over the world the strength to let go of the things they don't need, to bless someone else with their abundance, and not be hoarders. to let it go, Lord. Thank you for the example of the Israelites traveling through the desert with the manna from heaven that you rained down on them every day. That if they could get just enough for their family, and on Friday they could get enough for 2 days to cover the Sabbath. Lord, thank you for that beautiful gift. But when they got too much of it, Lord, it turned into worms. Wormy maggots, y'all. Turned into worms. That's what our clutter does for us, that we go and buy at yard sales, that we don't love, we don't need, we don't have a place for. Help us, give us the strength to let go of this clutter in your Son's holy name. For all my fly babies that are suffering with injury and illness, and friends of theirs that are suffering, I don't know who it was. I just saw someone was in a coma. Lord, open their eyes, help their breathing, help them to be with us again. And don't ever give up, because the name of Jesus says it all. All these things I ask in your Son's holy name. Amen and amen. I remember Dutch Sheets one time. He heard from the Lord that he was to go to the hospital and pray for this girl that had been in a coma for a long time. And he went every week for a year. And one day she opened her eyes. It's an amazing story. It's an amazing story I've heard him tell. So y'all, don't give up hope. Stay strong. Right behind me is faith. It's the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. That's Hebrews 11:1, and I probably didn't get it right. But y'all, we can do this. People are putting food in their crock pot so they can make a meal for dinner. Y'all, it's knowing what's for dinner frees you up. And that's what our motto is this year. Freedom from chaos. There's nothing more chaotic than standing in front of your refrigerator at 6 o'clock at night thinking, what am I going to feed this hungry family? And you got a kid hanging on one leg and somebody hollering it from the living room, what's for dinner? I'm hungry. And you feel just miserable because you're not the mommy that you want to be. So get something in the crock pot. It doesn't matter if it's like, that's my Roomba doing its little thing. God gets all the glory. Kathy, see how many meals you can make with your inventory. Put that inventory on the inside of the door so that you can remember what meals you have available. So get some things done that you haven't done. Doing an inventory, yum. That's going to free you up to know what, and get it listed on your calendar. Get it listed. Y'all, God gets all the glory. All you got to do is move those hands. Yesterday while I was doing the show, Robert emptied the dishwasher. I said, honey, thanks for emptying the dishwasher. He said, my arm ain't broke. My arm ain't broken. I hit a lick at a snake. It needed doing, so I did it. I am thankful that I have a sweet, darling husband. So be good, kind, and sweet. Be good to yourself by not wasting time and money going after other people's trash. The time will come when you can go back and do it again, but you got to be careful. When you bring something new home, you got to get rid of something old and know what you're going to get rid of. I like to take, somebody saying rotate your food. I like to take a Sharpie and write on the top of the lid the best buy date. You'll be glad you did. You'll thank me later. Be kind to others by putting a table out, or maybe just a sheet on the grass, and put some free things on it, and put a sign. Let your kids make a free sign, and putting it out by the curb and sharing with others. Somebody will need something, and you can't worry about who gets it. Now, if you want to donate it to someplace, if you've got a lot of good clothes, it never hurts to give those to a women's shelter, because sometimes ladies have to leave with nothing but their pajamas on, and they have nothing, I tell you. So take some good clothes to the women's shelter so that they have something to go on some job interviews and do, be able to be presentable when they left the house with just bare feet. Donate those shoes. God gets all the glory. And that love that is inside of you that comes from God above just bubbles up and shows the world who you are. You got to be careful about Facebook and Marketplace. There's a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of scams. So just be careful. Just put a free sign. Let it go. Just let it go. Sing the Frozen song, Let It Go. Or I like the Engelbert Humperdinck song. What is it? I can't think of it because Let It Go's in my head. Please release me. Let me go. Please release me. Let me go. Sung from the stuff's point of view. Let it go. It's not blessing your home if it's covering up every flat surface. Y'all, I love you all. I will see you later. Jesus is with you right now. Yeah. I feel it. Feel the Holy Spirit. God gets all the glory. I'll catch you at 3 o'clock this afternoon. No telling what we're going to talk about. I told you my guilty little secret of yard sailing. And I know you probably done it too, because we like a bargain. And I want to thank Patera. If you don't know about Appalachian Homestead, you got to go check out Patera. She is an amazing woman that lives pretty close to my sister Patty, and she is wonderful because she's been sick. She's had a flu, but she's getting better. So y'all go check out Patera. She's an amazing mother of a 24-year-old, a 22-year-old, and an 18-year-old. She has lovely husband James, and he works a full-time job, and she takes care of animals, milks goats and cows when they're in season, and she grows a beautiful garden, and she likes to save seeds. And she's good. She's good. And she's my kind of people. She's my kind of people. Anyway, I love you all. I will see you at 3 o'clock Eastern time. And you just extrapolate. And guess what? I did an interview yesterday for Realtor.com about daylight savings time. Daylight savings time changes March the 10th. March the 10th. Now, do you have new smoke alarm batteries? Get them on your grocery list. If you don't have 9-volt batteries, check and see what you need and get those on your grocery list. Do you have some new toothbrushes? Do you have new toothbrushes to change out your toothbrushes? Get it on your grocery list to pick up new toothbrushes for everybody in the family. You'll be glad you did. You'll thank me later. Okay, folks, it's my alarm. I've been running my mouth too long. I'll see you later. Bye. Wow, I made a squeaky sound. And I don't even know how to whistle. It's anti-procrastination